let's jump into Women's Champions League because you were in Lisbon, super integrated to all of the activations around Women's Champions League. You were at the match. What was the atmosphere like? I mean, I just want you to take us through the 2 days that you were there and give us a little BTS.
It was honestly incredible. I think, as a retired player now, Darian, and having seen I never got to a Champions League final, right? I got knocked out on multiple semi-finals, never reached it. That was my first time even being at one. And honestly, I take my hat off to UEFA. We play strong. Every single partner that really made it such an incredible weekend. I got down to the fan zone on the Friday and Saturday morning, and just the amount of pop-up events that made the sort of fan experience really cool and insightful and similar to Poe's conversation, just loads of really valuable conversations around the women's game. Storytelling, physical things to do. There was 3v3 tournament on the Saturday morning before the game. So it was just a credit to everyone involved of the whole experience. It just showed the investment that the game really deserved. And then the game happened. And it was just the underdogs taking on the Spanish giants of football. And look, we spoke about this before. We knew that Arsenal had to play the perfect 90 minutes. They had to defend for their lives. And they did. And Stina Blackstenius comes off the bench and does what Stina Blackstenius does, turns up in the big moments. It was just incredible. I am beyond grateful to have experienced it as, an employee being there, working and co-commentating the game. And then just as an ex-player being back in the Arsenal community and getting to share that experience. Like, you have no idea how lucky I felt being able to get my hands on that trophy. It was just the best feeling.
There she is.
See the joy, sheer joy in that face is unbelievable.
I feel it.
Yeah. But it's just you never know what it's going to be like when you leave a club, right? But the way that I still feel so involved and just welcomed back every time our paths are crossed is just so special. So it was really, truly an incredible weekend from start to finish. And look, the fact that they won it, they made history again after 18 years, was just an absolute remarkable. The pride was just bursting in me to see my mates go and do it. Especially that one on the left there, Kim Little, one of my best mates for so many years. Grew up playing with her. Under 15 Scotland, we met as kids. She signed the year after they won it in 2007. So 18 years later, I know firsthand the amount of work that goes into it from behind the scenes. So to see her lift the trophy with her other sort of co-captain, I could say, Leah Williamson, captain of England as well. They're part of the leadership group, so the amount that they've driven the club over the years. So to see them as such great mates in the game lift the trophy was honestly an unforgettable moment.
Whew, I've got chills you walking me through this. I mean, the question I have is, you mentioned, being a former player, you don't know how a club's going to embrace you or how much they're going to involve you. And I've just loved watching, especially you and Leanne, another friend of the show, get honored. And I want to know, did you feel that way? Because you two are, and many others are, some of those players that this team has been built on your backs to get to what it is now. You are 100% a part of that journey and why this team is where it is right now. Did you feel honored while you were there that you were a catalyst as to getting this Champions League?
I mean, that's a great question. And I think, I learned the term imposter syndrome quite
it's real.
I think you never really feel that, right? The answer to your question is no, I never really felt like that until people say, you were a part of this, that it's led up to this. And you kind of think, really? But, I was a part of it for a really long time. And, to see them go and do it. And another thing that I love that Arsenal was hosting a lunch for all the 2007 winners or the ones that could make it. And Leanne was a big part of that. She got into the training ground and had a lunch with the girls leading up to the cup final to kind of have that feel of what it like to come from legends, right? To come from the players that had won it in 2007. But to answer your question, I think imposter syndrome is always, you always think, oh, should I be here? Am I allowed to be here? Can I do this? Can I do that? So no, I never want to step on anyone's toes or overstep. But I will say they never make me feel like that. They always make me feel so welcomed and so valued. And I felt so lucky to not just be working there, but to kind of go and get on the pitch and say hi to everyone and really feel the emotions with them. Because And other players were there as well. Viv Miedema, Laura Wienreuter, a lot of players that, you know, have left the club and got to go and experience that game. But it's down to one reason: we're all such a close knit group. We're all such really good friends, and you know, I see the Pride shirt behind you, and I'm kind of hoping you feel the same, right?
Yeah, no, I do. It's tough when you step away from the game, and especially, you know, you're like, damn, I wish I could be there, wish I could be on the pitch. But knowing that, you know, Jen, especially for you were so integral to this team and to why there's such a rich history of making it to the semis and having that, you know, underdog mentality, but that ultimately got it over the line. But I want to know, you were there partying, you were living it up, you were with your best mates.
I don't know.
What was your we saw it. We saw you all over the gram. What was one of your favorite moments from the weekend?
Oh my gosh, I have so many. One of my favorite moments definitely was being at the fan zone before the game and sort of realizing the hype and kind of scale of how big a Champions League final actually is. Again, I never made it as a player, so to go and experience it and see the sort of we did a meet and greet, and I think sort of on the Friday night, day before the game, myself, Alex Scott, Emma Byrne were there, and just seeing the wave of Arsenal fans that had all kind of turned up to not just go to the game, but to kind of experience the whole match day experience, I guess. And kind of that was seeing the fans that had turned up. That was really special. My other one that I think everyone knows about is Jess Glynne's performance at the after.
Oh yeah.
Obviously partner of Alex Scott, Arsenal legend, and her voice is absolutely incredible. Obviously, she has bangers back from so successful. But hearing her voice live and just that party in that moment, again, group of people having a good time was just so much fun. So there was, and of course, the final whistle. That was, I had to hold my voice. I was obviously commentating, and, you know, final whistle went, they'd done it, made history, and that's half of your best mates on the pitch experience it, and trying to hold it together in that moment again is something I'll never forget. So there's so many moments.
Yeah, I feel like more and more are just going to keep coming up too, of like, oh yeah, that happened, oh shit, that happened. When in the game though were you like, oh, Arsenal can do it, Arsenal have this?
Honestly, I think when they scored, if I'm going to be completely honest, I think they defended incredibly well the first half. Missed a few big chances. I think Kim Little had a good chance. Frida Manum had one that was brilliantly saved from really long range effort. But Barcelona dominated possession. Barcelona were the ones piling on the pressure. In my head, I was like, can Arsenal sustain this? You know, because they were starting to collapse a little bit, getting deeper and deeper. And the one thing I was thinking, bring on Beth Mead, bring on Stina Blackstenius, because they can change the game. The deeper that Arsenal got, you needed that outlet of Stina Blackstenius to go and run in behind. And I thought it was a genius from Renee Slegers to bring them both on. And what do you know? It's Beth Mead that gets the assist and Stina Blackstenius that puts it in the back of the net. So it was in that moment that I think they got the goal. And I think it was around the 78th minute mark. I can't even remember. It's all a big blur now. But I think in that moment, when you're 1-0 up, you know, you've got the goal, you've got the lead, and Barcelona have failed to break you down, even no matter how much pressure they're putting you on. And then I think back, I was like, Daphne van Domselaar didn't really have any worldy saves to make.
No.
The defending in the box was unbelievable. Steph Catley, Leah Williamson, and Kim Little in front of them. That triangle was just, they cut out every cutback that happened, any long ball that came into the box, any sort of small passes around. Their box defending was incredible. So I think when they went 1-0 up, I was like, they can do it. They just got to manage the game. They have every trick in the toolbox ready to go, everything in their back pocket to slow the game down. So I think it was in that moment when they made the changes, and then Lotte Wubben-Moy coming off the bench, man. Like, go to a back five, shut up, game over. It was hard to watch, don't get me wrong. Barcelona are going to pile on the pressure. You never know when you've got players like that to kind of pop up and create whenever, but they were absolutely exceptional, and they played the perfect game. Renee Slegers made the perfect changes, tactically spot on, and it's a credit to them. They absolutely smashed it, and it was, you know, a really, really difficult game for them. But I don't know what your thoughts were watching the game.
I mean, okay, first of all, my favorite moments outside of the game was Katie McCabe dropping the F-bomb twice. That cracked me up. Live TV at the parade. Leah Williamson did it too.
Yeah.
But just the emotion of, you know what? I don't care. I'm here to celebrate. The journey has been incredible. And then when I was watching the game, I was actually at a watch party in Brooklyn. There was a ton of people there. There was a bunch of vendors. It was really cool. It wasn't anything I put together either. It was just the football community in New York put together this giant watch party. So we all got to hear your voice. But watching it, I think once we got to the halftime, I thought Arsenal are going to win this.
Yeah.
I think because the life and limb defending from that trio back there, I think just frustrated Barcelona so much that I thought there's no way they can do anything more. Arsenal need one chance to put a shot away. If it goes away, Arsenal have got it in the bag. Because defensively, they were unstoppable. So I think that's when I had the belief, but you're right. I think all the credit to Renee Slegers. The subbing, the tactics, she did everything just right. And you predicted it. They had to have the perfect game, and they really did.
I think the story of that as well, Darian, is unbelievable when you talk about Renee Slegers, right? If you look at Arsenal's season as a whole, from Jonas Eidevall starting the season, multiple losses back to back. She goes from assistant to interim to head coach all in one season. And bear in mind, they don't win anything domestically. Chelsea dominate domestically, winning everything there is in the WSL, FA Cup, League Cup, and the league. They won the treble. But Renee Slegers has turned this season around and goes and wins the biggest European club trophy that you can win in football. And that, to me, that story in itself, she's the first Dutch manager, I think, to do it in the women's game. And just the scale of that is true. And also she played in the academy. There's just so much. It's like lifetime contract, sign her up. Yeah. And seeing the celebrations as well today was honestly amazing. Like, outside the Emirates, seeing them in front of the fans, you know, the ones that couldn't travel, was awesome. But I think Renee Slegers, for me, was a game changer in terms of turning this season around. You could see it.
Yeah, you can see the belief in the team. It's such a game changer. You can have the best team in the world, but if you have a manager that doesn't get you to believe and lock in, it doesn't matter. So I love that. I love that it's a female head coach that did this. There's so many stories and storylines I feel like we could jump into and highlight. You mentioned Kim Little, Leah Williamson being a mascot to now being a leader on the team and winning a Champions League.
I know. What do you think, based on what you watched on Saturday? I don't know what day it is now.
Yeah, it was Saturday.
On what you watched, right? It's with Chelsea dominating. Do you think Arsenal now need to be right, we need to go and win the league next year?
Yeah.
Right?
Don't you? I think that's the next. You've won Europe. You have to win domestically now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so intrigued to see what happens over summer and
what changes.
Yeah, and just also how Chelsea must feel knowing that was the one that they wanted, right? They wanted to win the quadruple, and they got beaten by Barcelona in the semis and finals prior. But for this, I think it could be a game changer for Arsenal, which is good times.
Yeah. Right. Well, congratulations to first Jen Beattie, our girl, and Arsenal. This was an incredible journey to watch them. We're so glad we get to be a part of it and hear directly from the legend herself, Jen Beattie. With all of these legends, you got photos with everybody. I love this.
It was awesome.
Mark, just keep rolling them in.
Yeah. Producer Mark, just keep going. How much more you got? He's like going through my Instagram now.
Yep. He just screenshots of all your stories or something. So congratulations to Arsenal. Legendary performance this year. We're looking forward to what's next.